What's up, guys? JV2017 here, and I'm bringing you some brand new Black Ops 2 multiplayer news out of Gamescom 2012. Today we are talking about the new system called Wildcard. Now, I basically speculated throughout my breakdown analysis trailer what wildcards are there these bottom slots on the loadout. And as you can tell, this right here is an awesome picture of this game Treyarch made out of paper. It's like a little paper game. And this is basically how they crafted their 10-point system. And as you can tell, those little Joker cards, if you guys want a full screen 720 this video, it'd really help you out. If you can get a look at these wild cards. So basically, these are those bottom slots that looked very strange in the initial reveal trailer. Everybody was like, what the heck are these? I thought they were cosmetic decisions, you know, for your character to make them look cool. But in fact, they are called wildcards. So I'm going to show you guys some very specific examples of wildcards and how they function, and also a full list of all wildcards in the actual game and what has been revealed so far. So let's get to it. So here's a prime example of one of the main wildcards that people are going to probably be using. As you can tell, this is a screenshot I took with my phone. In the first tier, this person is running both Ghost and Lightweight. As you can tell in the bottom slot, that's under wildcards, so they're called wildcards. Once again, under the wildcard slot, it says Perk 1 Greed. Now, what this does is allow you to have 2 perks. So how this works is, once again, you have 1 point primary, 1 point for that attachment, 1 point for the secondary, 2 for the perks. Or sorry, 2 for the tier 1 perks, 1 cold-blooded, 1 dead silent, 1 lethal, 1 tactical. So that counts 9. That is 9 points. And then the wild card takes up 1 point. So basically, by using a wild card, by using a point for a wild card, you are sacrificing one of your points that you could be using as a secondary, an attachment, or a perk. You guys get the point. But he's sacrificing that 1 wild card point to have an extra perk. So technically, it's kind of like your second perk counts as 2 points, but it doesn't when you're like actually counting everything up. So here we are, that's Perk 1 Greed. Right here, I have an example from the breakdown analysis trailer, an exact, still that I took from that. As you can tell, this person has 1 wild card. Again, that's just a placeholder image that they use to kind of fool us or whatever. But anyways, as you can tell, this person is running 2 perks. And as you can tell, also, there are only 9 slots being filled up, not counting the wild card. So that person sacrificed 1 point to use Perk 2 Greed, which is like the same as Perk 1 Greed, but it's just for the second tier of perks, in order to have 2 perks. So as you can tell, this greed system, this is how this works. Right here is another still that I took from my trailer analysis, and as you can tell, this person has to be using Perk 3 Greed for his wild card. He has 2 third tier perks. So this is once again another example of the wild card system in work. And also, I want to throw this other mostly use me Blade class example. Perfect example of Perk 1 Greed, Perk 2 Greed, and Perk 3 Greed. All 3 of those wildcards being used so this person can have 6 perks. Now here, I don't know if I can 100% confirm this, but I can, most likely, I believe this is the case. This is the Overkill wildcard being used. Now, Overkill is on the list that I have from a source. Once again, all my sources on these info videos you can find in the description. But anyways, this person is using 2 snipers. And obviously, this should not be just normal. You can't just run with 2 snipers normally. So this guy is using the Overkill wildcard, which is no longer a perk. It is a wild card. So that allows him to sacrifice 1 point to have a second primary. So that's kind of like spending 2 points on a second primary, but you're, using a wild card basically. And also he's using another wild card, which I believe is called Secondary Gunfighter. Secondary Gunfighter. And this allows him to use 2 attachments on his secondary weapon, which just so happens to be a primary. So I believe, and once again, I can't confirm this, from what I'm looking at here, I believe just by default you can have 2 secondaries on your primary weapon. I believe, sorry, you can have 2 attachments on your primary weapon by default. You don't have to have any wildcards. Now, on your secondary, I believe you can only have 1 attachment by default, but of course, this means that you're giving up a point for that attachment. So now this person is using Secondary Gunfighter so he can have 2 attachments on his secondary weapon, which once again, because he's using Overkill wildcard, happens to be a primary weapon. And also, there is a wildcard that I don't have an example of called Primary Gunfighter, which probably allows you to use 3 attachments on your primary weapon. So if you just have a weapon you love and you want to duke it out with attachments, then you'll be able to use that primary gunfighter, sacrifice 1 point in your 10-point system to have, basically spending 2 points on your third attachment. Now here, I believe this is a perfect example of the new wild card called Danger Close. Now, I know when you guys hear that, you freak out. You're like, oh no, extra explosive damage. That's not what it is. It's a wild card. And the Danger Close wild card, I believe, is represented by what looks like that belt with 2 grenades on it. And it allows you to have 2 lethal grenades or lethal, equipment instead of just 1. Now, that's way different because I believe normally you come out with 2 lethal grenades. I could be wrong about that now that I think about it. But by default, it seems like in Black Ops 2, you're only allowed to have 1 lethal grenade and 1 tactical grenade without using any wild cards. If you want to have extra, you have to use wild cards. So this, once again, is a prime example of the Danger Close wild card, allowing you to have 2 tomahawks. As you can tell, this person has 2 tomahawks with that, with what I believe is the Danger Close wild card. Right here, I found this very interesting. Apparently, on my source list, there's a wild card called Tactician, which only makes sense. It would only make sense that allows you to have 2 tactical equipment or grenade or whatever. But as you can tell in this still, this person is not using any wild cards, and he has 2 tactical grenades or whatever that is. I don't know if this is just a technicality or something of that nature, but I believe Tactician is another wild card, and that allows you to have 2 tactical grenades or equipment, like I just said. I believe that's what that does, but I'm not 100% sure because right here, this kind of makes that theory bogus or debunks that theory, but I am not exactly sure on that. And finally, I want to leave you guys with this awesome screenshot. So basically, Treyarch wanted to kind of refine and really piece together an awesome create a class mode, and as you can tell right here, this is like a paper board game that they made called the Pick 10 loadout game, and this is how they crafted their new 10-point loadout system. And as you can tell, all of those Joker cards, it looks like they might have refined this. You also see in the top right, if you guys will full screen and 720 this video, you can see in the top right that says Hacker. That's kind of interesting. I think they renamed that to Engineer if you guys saw my confirmed perk list video. But anyways, if you guys want to just look at this really closely, you can really tell how they crafted this system. And you can tell how these wild cards, really fit and how that system will work in Black Ops 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please remember to go click that like button. It would really help me out. I worked a ton of researched a lot for this video and tried to find as much information. I just screwed up so many times right there. Find as much information as possible, so I'd appreciate a click of the like. And please stay tuned to my channel for more Black Ops 2 multiplayer information coming the next few days out of Gamescom. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you later. Peace.